The 30th anniversary of Pokémon is just a few days away, and we finally gotten confirmation that there will be a new Pokémon Presents on February 27th. And though we don't know exactly what will be announced on that day, all signs seem to be pointing to the most likely announcement being Generation 10. Now, of course, none of the leaks are 100% confirmed, and even if they are, things definitely could have changed, as most of these documents and images are from very early prototypes. So of course, big spoiler warning if you don't want to know anything about Gen 10. Interestingly enough, none of the leaks have contained any actual Pokemon yet. Of course, none of this is 100% confirmed, but if we're to go off of a previous Pokemon Day, and specifically when they've revealed new generations, almost every single time, the first thing they show off are the starter Pokemon. So it makes a lot of sense that they do the same with Gen 10. And I want to start the discussion by saying that they don't specifically have to be related to Indonesia or Southeast Asia, which if you didn't know is what the leaks claim the region will be based off. Because in previous generations, we've seen the starters really don't have anything to do with the region that they're in. With that in mind, I feel like any animal is fair game regardless of what the region itself is based on. So before we get started, let me know in the comments what animal species would you like to see as starter Pokemon. Let's first take a look at some of the Gen 10 concept images from back in 2021. I didn't even realize this is from way longer than what I said earlier. Here you can already see some of the potential ride Pokemon that could be in the game. We got a rideable dolphin, camel. At the time, these were ideas for Titan rides. So I think like boss Pokemon like the Titans from Scarlet and Violet that you defeat and then you get to ride them. But later leaks show us that instead it seems like these more traditional ride Pokemon have been scrapped for the Rotom scooter. I've said it before, but honestly, I'm not a big fan of the Rotom scooter concept. I would rather see traditional ride Pokemon. I think it's much cooler, even if it is more limited. I mean, dangling from a Copperajah's trunk, that'd be pretty sick. Another concept idea shows interaction between living things and nature. We have a couple other animals that could serve as inspiration. A little monkey right here, a butterfly, and a lion dangling from a tree. But I feel like lion's a little close to cat, and I'm not sure that they would do a cat starter 2 games in a row. But it would complete the trio if they did a water cat starter. Monkey is definitely one I could see as a starter. We haven't had a monkey since Grookey. If you think about it, there's been a fire monkey starter and a grass monkey starter. Do we get the water monkey next? I don't actually know what this last animal is. Looks like a little gopher kind of thing. I mean, yeah, I'd be down for the gopher Pokemon. I think we had an otter with Oshawott. I forgot what Chespin is exactly, but I don't think it's a gopher. So they could definitely fit that as a fire starter. Without a doubt, the most spread around starter trio for Gen 10 is this concept by Cardinal H. Now, Cardinal later went on to create 3D renders which looked pretty dang real, at least for the Scarlet and Violet art style, and this image got spread around like wildfire with many people thinking it was an actual leak, which I always want to give props to Cardinal. He does probably the best like fake leaks out there. I did mention an elephant earlier too, and he actually has a little water type elephant here alongside a fire bat, and I guess it's like a cow or calf. I think is like a baby cow. It actually does look a lot cuter in the Sugimori style 2D art here. So you know what, maybe depending on the evolution, I probably maybe would pick it, but I would totally fall for this if someone said it was a Gen 10 leak and they blurred it, pixelated the Pokemon a little bit. Firebat is just so dang cute though, dude. I love the coloring on it, and I would love to see an evolution for this thing if it remains fire and flying type. I guess someone actually made a evolution for one of them. I don't know if this was Cardinal himself. I mean, it looks like the same kind of style, just a little less saturated. Only thing is, I'm not sure if they would do another fire flying starter, considering, you know, the most popular starter ever is fire flying. And finally, Mr. Trunk over here, super cute and fits with the earlier concept that we saw of like an elephant as a ride Pokemon. I don't know if we've ever had a game where the starter becomes a ride Pokemon. I think it'd be really sick if you could ride your starter Pokemon in their final forms. Obviously fly around on the back of the bat or on land on the back of the cow. So for that reason, I actually really like this starter trio if they ended up going with the ride Pokemon idea, which we already know not happening. So as I was looking around on Twitter and Instagram, a lot of people really want a bat starter. This one here, grass bat with a fire snake, and Not sure what this animal is over here, but it's also pretty cute. Why is it that the water starter is always like the sad one though? There's a higher quality version here from Cosmic Core. I will of course link all of the artists featured in this video down in the description, so check them out and follow them. We got Vesprout, a bat who loves to eat berries and pull pranks, Sliver, a snake with a bad headache, and Miripo, a hippo who looks sad so others won't fight it. Looking at it now, that is very obviously a hippo. I don't know how I didn't see it earlier, but really cute actually. I don't know, even though it's like water starters are always sad, it still looks cute somehow. I like it. But the fire snake is definitely my favorite of this bunch. And another concept that I feel like has been very popular with the Gen 10 predictions, fire snake, but I would say grass bat equally has been very, very common. Another image you may have seen swirling around this one, which is sadly AI, ripped off from Axel Galay art here. Again, shows a very, very cool looking grass bat and fire snake and water monkey. So combining kind of the two main ideas that I've seen floating around. And these all three look super duper awesome. These are their Gen 10 starter predictions, and you can see them a lot more clearly here. We got the little grass bat, which I'm not sure if there's a name for it. I definitely think Pokemon could do a grass bat and kind of make it a pun on like fruit bats being a real animal. Make it into a bat that maybe not produces fruit, because that would be a little too much like Tropius, especially if it's a grass and flying type, but maybe collects berries and uses them to attack. Kind of like Grookey had its little drumsticks, you know, that could be its gimmick, is that it throws berries at opponents. Then we have the spicy looking fire snake here. I mean, like with its expression, it's looking a little bit more mean. We're long overdue for another snake Pokemon, I guess specifically as a starter, because there's been plenty of snake Pokemon before, but I want to say the reason why a lot of people suspect a fire snake is that whole Chinese zodiac fire starter theory, which I've never really fully believed because there's some that you kind of have to stretch. But snake is definitely in the zodiac, so fire snake would fit it. And finally, the water monkey. I really like the detail of this one having a little water droplet earring and also sticking out or looking different from Panpour, of course, because if you're gonna do another water monkey, it's gotta look very different and distinct, and this one definitely nails that. All of these definitely have some connections to the region being based on Southeast Asia. You can see there's a lot of monkeys over there. I didn't know that they actually swim underwater. That's pretty crazy. A lot of bats in that region too, and of course a lot of dragon influence as well. Even though we haven't seen any actual images or confirmation of what the starters in Gen 10 could be, we may potentially have some hints from leakers online. Mainly this tweet from Ball Guy, who's been a pretty, I guess you could say, spot on with recent Pokemon game leaks. This of course is a post from 4chan, which I don't always trust, but Ball Guy having posted it definitely gives it a little bit more credibility is the closest word, but doesn't necessarily tell us which one is for which type though. Like a slimy bulbous tail could fit for either the water or grass starter. To be honest, it could work for fire type as well, depending on what animal it is, but large slimy tail kind of makes me think of a lizard of some kind, like a gecko or salamander. Considering we already have a fire type salamander, definitely leaning more towards grass or water. Thick green brow with little dark feet like an angry baby. I mean, green, you think of grass type, and puffy front side, tongue constantly out. Most definitely sounds like a frog with its tongue being constantly out, but we have also gotten some frog starter before. Taking a look around Google Images for a fire toad Pokemon, there's some pretty cute ones here. None with the tongue really sticking out, but this is a really cool idea from Fakemon Workshop. Another post I found very interesting says that a post about possible Gen 10 starters got taken down. And I guess no one re-uploaded it, which is kind of weird, but talks about a grass and poison Komodo dragon, a fire goat, and a water platypus, which is another species I would love to see as a Pokemon. In fact, you guys might remember Platypet, created by Shades of Heliolisk. Pretty infamous Fakemon that actually ended up becoming real in a very unexpected way. Was started as a fake leak, eventually became Platypet, an actual creature in the game Temtem. I actually remember this as well. I don't know if it was from the Sword and Shield or Sun and Moon era, but we did eventually end up getting Scorbunny as a Fire Bunny Pokemon. Going back to this rumor, I've actually seen a lot of people predicting Fire Goat recently. Pretty sure there was a Fire Goat in a fan game I played once before. Yeah, right here from Pokemon Sage, maybe? This was a really solid design for a fakie. Dude, look at that final evolution. Like, tell me you wouldn't want that in an official game. Even the first form, like they all look really awesome. However, the most recent round of totally legit leaks shows us a different type of goat. In fact, I think this might be more of a sheep. It's a grass type sheep starter alongside a fire turtle and a water raccoon, which looks like an actual literal raccoon. Like, I don't know. This is a little bit too not like a Pokemon for me. And if you didn't notice, all three of them have the exact same name above their heads, which is weird because usually that would be the name of the Pokemon. So I'm not sure why they would all say, well, I've been studying Japanese, so I can actually read this for you. It says Bushubu. I have no idea what that even means. Definitely fake, and I know Soul's not saying that they're real. It's just a collection of Pokemon, but I do actually like the Fire Turtle. I am definitely down for another turtle starter because we haven't had one since, like, I guess you can count Turtwig. Yet another trio of similar animals you could complete with Squirtle being the water turtle. You gotta have the fire turtle in there to complete the trio. Wait, I just realized, I guess technically Sobble's a lizard, so there has at least been one trio of similar animals with all three types for starters before. So I can definitely see Pokemon completing another one of them, whether it's the monkeys, turtles, definitely not a raccoon though. But the latest and most definitely fakest. Look, I'll give you the gecko, maybe, but the other two definitely do not look like Pokemon. I mean, this face design right here, pretty sure they took a Goomba's face and put it on a Pokemon. I don't even know what animal this is supposed to represent, by the way. But poison grass gecko would be pretty cool if it evolved into a Komodo dragon like the rumor that we saw earlier. And I don't even know what this is supposed to be because in Japanese, the names of these literally just translates to gecko, slow loris, which I guess that would be the fire starter. And the last one, frogfish. Now that is an actual animal that definitely looks like it could be a Pokemon. I mean, if I'm being honest, this already looks like a real life Pokemon. Wait, is this real? Maybe not for a starter, actually. I feel like this would be a cool Pokemon where like it has many different forms based on where it grows up, like what coral reef it's near. It changes form and changes type. Would fit for Gen 10, but definitely not as a starter. So yeah, I'm gonna give these like a 1 out of 10 in terms of like being real, but also just looking downright ugly. We did see a mention of a grass snail, and this trio here by El Cajarito, which I just was about to read as Carajito, which as much as I would love to see these as starters though, I don't really see them in current Pokemon just because they've definitely been trending a certain way with the designs of starters, and these definitely feel more like they would fit in an older game like Gen 3, but they are really cool, and if a fan game had these, I would absolutely play it. And last but not least, I wanted to include a trio of kind of like oddball choices, at least for the animal species. We've got a grass parrot, a fire horse, and a little water hermit crab, which I'm actually shocked that they haven't done a crab starter Pokemon yet. Although this could also be like a crawfish or a shrimp, you know, it could work. It definitely looks very different from Krabby and Corfish. Grassbird has sadly been done now with Rowlet, but it ended up evolving into Grass and Ghost, so this one looking a lot more like a parakeet or a tropical kind of bird. Definitely stands out from Rowlet. And Fire Horse, that is a surprise hit. Like out of this trio, that's the one I would definitely want to see the most in Gen 10. Maybe it's because of the little yellow squares that seem to be in all the recent fire starters. Obviously there's a fire horse in Ponyta and Rapidash, but this one looks super different and I would be really excited to see its evolutions. We've seen a lot of really cute and awesome looking starter trios today, but I want to lock in my final predictions before Pokemon Day because I do think we're going to see the starters and I at least want to try to guess what the species that they might be will be. So for my grass starter, I'm going to lock in some sort of bat. Even if there is some sort of rumor around there that there's not going to be a bat at all the grass bat starters that I've seen today all look really good. So I think it would definitely work for Gen 10. Water starter is definitely the one I'm most conflicted on because I really do like that little crawfish guy and the platypus. I know it ended up becoming a Temtem, so that one actually is a case where I feel like Pokemon might not do it anymore, but I don't know. I've always loved Platypus, big Phineas and Ferb fan. So a Platypus Pokemon, and it could actually be a water poison type too, because I believe Platypus have some sort of poison in real life. And I forgot to mention, but platypus or platypuses, I don't know how to say it, but they're endemic to Eastern Australia. Wait a minute. Eastern, not Western. Okay, I was about to say that there's actually this little tip, I believe, up here that is visible in the Gen 10 map, but that's not where platypus are originally from. I mean, at the end of the day, it's Pokemon. They don't one-to-one match the real world, so they could definitely make platypus be available in the Gen 10 region. Maybe they come from that little part down there. And just because of my love for those animals, that's what I'm gonna lock in for my Gen 10 prediction. Which leaves us with the Fire Starter. And again, we saw a lot of really cool ideas today. Fire Frog that spouts lava from his mouth is one that I'm particularly fond of, especially if it's more puffy. And as popular as Fire Snake seems to be, I don't know, maybe the contrarian me is saying there's not going to be a Fire Snake. And so for that reason, I'm actually going to lock in this Fire Horse instead. Just because it looks too damn cute, dude. This fan art specifically just convinced me. So huge props to Hydra Trainer. I just think this little Fire Horse is so freaking cute, man. I want to see this in an actual game, and I feel like, you know, Fire Horse, even though there's a lot of horse Pokemon, as a starter, I think it'd be really cool. Let me know your predictions in the comments below, and stay tuned for Pokemon Day, as I will of course be live reacting to it and of course doing the trailer breakdown depending on what ends up getting shown. If it's actual gameplay, we're gonna have a lot to talk about regardless, so make sure to subscribe if you haven't already and hit that like button for more Pokemon videos.